They say audio is 80% of success and there is one best mic for YouTube. That's wrong. So we'll test different mics right here in my kitchen, not in some perfect studio. There are smooth walls here, the sound waves bounce everywhere like crazy. And this is how crappy everything sounds without a proper mic. I got some really interesting stuff for the test. We'll try out a bunch of microphones, and by the end of this video you'll know exactly what works for your budget, for your content type, for your situation. No guesswork. And I hope you already hit the like button. I'm Slava, let's dive in. First, look at the gear you already own. You can get a usable voice sound with zero extra budget just by using your smartphone. You can actually use it as a mic for creating your YouTube videos. You shoot on your camera and record voice on the phone, holding it close to your mouth. Then you sync the audio in editing and it already sounds much better than the camera mic. Of course, there is way more comfortable option that is cheap, doesn't tie up your hands and sounds good in untreated spaces. I'm talking about a headset mic. It plugs straight into a computer, but some types work wirelessly too. You can even hook it up to your smartphone like I did. Even if you don't have a headset, they start at around $15. The mic's right by your mouth, so your voice will come through clear, rejecting the background noise. That tiny mic capsule won't give you that deep, rich voice tone. Viewers might see you're on the budget gear because you are, but honestly, it's good enough for some stuff like streaming or gaming content. You might find it a little bit bulky, so here is another option that works with your phone instantly and is super portable. I'm talking about AirPods, or actually any earbuds you can find around and plug it into your phone. In this case, the mic is not in the best place, it's back there, so the quality is limited, but for quick vlogs or stories it still beats your camera internal mic. And if needed, you can always clean it up a bit with AI voice enhancer. Just upload your audio file on the website and get your studio quality recording. You can use it for replacing poor voiceover in editing. If you find this workflow sort of excessive, here's a simpler solution, and the sound can be surprisingly better than with earbuds. Wired headset starts at just $10. It connects with a Type-C or Bluetooth. Just be careful with those harsh plosive sounds popping in. Position it slightly off axis and you get decent voice sound. Super simple for quick recordings, but sometimes you need something more reliable. So now we'll finally talk about the microphones that actually sound good. They give you total freedom to move around when you're shooting, and you can connect them to whatever fits your needs, a phone, a laptop or a camera. I'm talking about systems like this. These are super comfortable mics for vlogging, fitness or traveling, in any situation when you need some mobility. Just keep an eye on your battery and you're good. Hollyland Lark M2 is a small wireless set with a bunch of clips and magnets that help you to place the mic in a sweet spot. This kit is supposed to be connected to a smartphone or a camera, and it has a charging case, which is super easy for plug-and-play recording. DJI mic system is very similar to the previous one. It's also made for creators on the go. It's a small wireless kit with the clip-on transmitters and the receiver that plugs into your device. And the killer feature here is DJI can record your voice inside the transmitter for you to use it later in post. It's also stored and charged in handy case. Rode Wireless Go is a compact system very similar to DJI. The transmitter works as a clip-on mic and the receiver sits on your camera and connects with a mini jack. The greatest advantage of both DJI and Rode systems is you can plug the external mic, and this way you get a really nice and small body pack you can hide in your pocket and use way smaller microphone. These systems are super convenient. In most cases, they just work. No need to care about the radio coordination, government regulation, but the greatest con, these are super short-range transmitters. They are very limited in power, and you barely can change the frequency they operate on. So if the frequency is occupied or you want to make a distant shot, you might have a problem. And that is why in the pro world, these consumer class devices aren't usable. And the next mic we're talking about is like a time-proven standard. It's reliable, it has a powerful transmitter, and you can really control these Pokemons. With systems like Sennheiser EW100, you can actually manage radio frequencies and some other settings. The case is a little bit tanky, and let's be honest, the system will cost you a penny, but it's worth that when you work on a crowded radio environments or working on a long run. Of course, wireless systems can be overkill if you're just doing talking head videos at home. If you need reliability and a clean voice, the next couple of mics might be a better fit. The Sennheiser MKE, also known as a Mickey mic, or Shure ECM series. These are broadcast level capsules that will give you clear signal. They work great and are easy to use. Just make sure you have an XLR input. The trade-off is you'd need a phantom power or a AA battery to put inside the mic case. Also, the mic placement can be very tricky. The thing is, not every piece of clothing works well for placing a lav, and that affects your sound. For example, if you wear a t-shirt with a high neck, you can't really put the lav in the sweet spot right here. You will place it right under your chin, and that can make the sound a little bit boomy. Guys with long beards rubbing on the mic, you gotta be careful with this. And you know, those shiny rustling dresses that look awesome in the camera, they're fine, but they can ruin the recording in the same way. Although with the next choice you can wear literally anything. Your hands can stay free, and from the viewer's side it looks neat because all the gear can be hidden. That is the coolest thing about the on-camera shotgun mic I'm using right now. If you're fairly close to the camera, about 1.5 meters, and you're not moving around too much, a shotgun can give you a clear, natural voice. However, the greatest cons of shotguns is they are very sensitive to distance and angle. And that is why if you want a clean shot, free hands and natural voice tone, you should use the boom stand. It lets you bring the shotgun much closer to you. This way you get a crisp voice without a visible mic. Here I use the Sennheiser MKE 600, and honestly, shotguns take a bit of practice. They're less forgiving than lavalier mics, but in some situations they're hard to replace. Go with the shotgun if you're doing talking head videos and if you want all the gear hidden off camera. It can be a great choice for unboxing videos, tabletop games, cooking shows, or DIY videos where desk mic wouldn't fit. Of course, a long boom pole on a stand is very static, very studio solution. It's not what you grab for on-the-move documentaries. So the next mic I want to show you is very handy. It gives very clear sound even in noisy places, and it reduces the handling noises. That's what a mic like Sennheiser MD42 is for, a handheld reporter mic. It's a solid choice if you want that TV-style interview look, doing street talks or vox pops. It's designed to be really close to your mouth, so it gives you consistent audio with no background noise. My favorite thing about this mic is how deadly simple it is. I don't have to worry about its off switch because it doesn't have any, about the phantom power, about the batteries or radio frequencies. I plug it in, I set the volume, and it just works. Super easy and super reliable, but not very comfortable for, let's say, a podcasting. And that's what the next mic for. It will give you that warm radio voice and a very studio look. Also, it will reduce the room noise. The SM7B is like a rock star you see on podcasts and talking head videos like Joe Rogan, Pod Save America, or Conan O'Brien's show. They're time-proven standard for radio, voiceovers, and streams. The mic gives you pro sound out of the box. It sits right in front of you and it keeps your voice solid and controlled. The secret is SM7B is not very sensitive, so that's why you see this mic inside with some kind of a gain lifter. And this guy really needs some juice to sound great. The possible cons here is the size. The mic is big, heavy, and you have to take its weight into account when choosing the mic stand. It's always in the frame, and if you move away, it drops your sound really quick. Anyway, it sounds awesome, but if you want even fancier mic, you gotta be careful. Why? Let's say you're a singer or a voiceover artist. You want the most beautiful voice sound and a very studio pro look. Probably even cooler than with a podcast mic. This one I have for you is Octava MK220. A big large diaphragm condenser mic like this is the top shelf option. Usually they cost you a leg or two, and here that's not the main problem. The microphones like this are designed for capturing voices with some distance, so it requires proper studios with treated acoustics. At home it will hear everything, traffic outside, your neighbor's TV, your computer fan, your room. All these will compete with your voice, so I would say for most content creators, it's more like an overkill toy. The biggest mistake for video makers is searching for the best mic. In fact, there is only the right microphone for your room, your style and workflow. That's why I'm testing the real options in real space for you to pick up what works. While this list is powerful and you heard how this microphone sounds like, there is much more what you should know about audio and video gear. That's why you're invited to subscribe to my channel. Here I break down audio, video and filming tools in a practical way. This was me, Slava Nesmiyanov, and see you in the next one. Bye!